Okay. Live stream number 2. Had to look it up on the internet again how to start this thing because I don't know how to get around. Hey everybody. Or hey, Dark Lady. What's up, Dark Lady? Hey, Cessna. Good to see some familiar faces. Yeah, I was just saying that basically I completely forgot how to get back to live on Instagram. I had to like look it up on Google. How do I get to this? How do I get to live stream? Wave, what's up? Sam, Moju, 1134. How's everybody doing tonight? My day's going well, Dark Lady. I just got off work. I did some really cool stuff today. And I'm excited for vacation because I'm going on vacation. I have to do a little bit. I have to go in for a voiceover on Monday for one of the shorts I'm directing. But most of my vacation begins now. So I'm very excited. Hey, from Australia. What's up, Lee Wayne Blackburn? Hey, accidentally joined. Whatever, man. Thanks for showing up. Cheers from Chile. Cool. You might be the first person from Chile I've seen and visit any of my live streams. Cool. Wave. Hey. Whoop, got a question. Can you show or tell anything about your new Viking short? Yes, kind of. It's all very early stages, but I have a little bit. If you've followed any of my work, you definitely have probably seen some of my early Viking tests that I've done. In here in my secret drawer, I have some sculpts that I'm working on. And I could show you one of them that's in progress that I'm just finally getting back to working on again, which is our wolf character. And as you can see, I'm sculpting it in kind of a square flat position with the mouth. The mouth will be open when I actually mold it. And what happens is when you sculpt a character like that, the reason you do it is so you can put the skeleton inside of the mold, right? So I'll actually spread the legs wide when I mold it. And that way when I'll make sure to get all of the range out of the bones that I want. Because the character has to be very mobile, moving and doing the action that's involved in my film. So I have a little bit there that you can kind of get a little bit of a visual on it. So that's one of the 3 main characters that are in the film or in the short. The Viking character is downstairs, but you can kind of see the body of one of my early prototypes, which I could show here too. Let's see. Got a lot of cool old puppets or characters. So he's gonna look super freaky because he doesn't have his face on. But I can still show you the body, which is kind of cool. So you can see part of him. This was, so he looks freaky, right? But you can see about the scale of him. His skirt has foil in it, so I can animate it as I animate. Feet, of course, have tie downs underneath there. This is made of foam, so it's squishy, like a Nerf football. And of course the mustache has wire in it so I can animate it and scope it. The beard is one of my daughter's ex teddy bears that I cut to pieces. So I could make a beard out of it. And then he of course has the Viking helmet and eyebrows and all kinds of stuff. You can see like one of the old rigging holes in the backside. And they're also on the sides too. So that I can depending on where the character is, I'm able to support them as they're doing all kinds of actions. But the final designs are going to look far cooler than kind of the stuff you've seen so far. I decided to go with silicone for the puppets instead of foam latex, and they're going to look really clean and really, of course, the animation's going to be awesome. It takes place in like a snowy forest, which we're going to be making a lot of progress in the next 10 days, which is my vacation basically. So I'll be working on the film a lot. Oh, cool. You watched the Alien Xmas. Awesome. We're going to watch it after the live stream tonight. I'm excited to see it. And it's cool because I can finally share some shots that I've done from the film. I got some really great shots working on it. And I got to work with these really cartoony robots. This kind of garbage can robot character that you guys will see. It's really, really fun. I really enjoyed it. And it was shot on 2s. So, it's a different vibe than like your Leica stuff, which is really super smooth. It's a lot more stop motion-y. Moju video is amazing. Thank you, man. I just finished Evelyn last night. I did a dialogue test with Evelyn, and actually you can see her right back there. She's talking. So in my next video, I decided to have her do a little dialogue. And I'm doing replacement mouths on it, and I'll do like a little mini kind of how-to with a video that I put up either on TikTok or Instagram or one of those. But I really hope you guys like it. Any of the He-Man fans out there. Thank you, Dark Lady. I will. I hope you're getting a little vacation too. Can't wait to get my turkey. This weekend I'm actually going on a shoot, Dark Lady. Not as cool as the shoots you do, but I'm going out to Vasquez Rocks to shoot some live action plates for a animation that I'm going to be doing where I composite a creature into live action. So look out for that on my channel very soon. Oh, cool. You're making a He-Man RPG when it comes out. Campaign. Oh, that's awesome, man. Trodorn. Cool. Hi from Brazil. Hello, Brazil. Request to be in my live video? How does that work? Do you want... I'll try it. Let's see what happens. Is it like kind of like split screen or something? Let's check it out. Go live with Nicholas Stopmotion. This is a fun way to do a question or something. How many seconds did I personally animate on Alien Xmas? I worked on it for 3 weeks. So obviously I'm not getting that much, but on 2s, I get a lot more than I ever would at Leica. So I think I did something like 11 or 12 shots, maybe 30 to 40 seconds of footage, maybe a little more. I don't know. About 30 or 40 seconds of footage is what I would guess. When do you go live? And here you are. Hey, what's up, Donnie? I just listened to you today. Do your live. Am I animating live? I can do that. I just am so afraid it'll be crazy boring. So I haven't tried it yet. But I definitely, I can do that if anyone's really interested. I can try that. Wayne, what's up, dude? Long time. I used to work with Wayne back at Konami, which was one of my first video game jobs when 23 years ago or something like that. He's a great, great artist who's been in the games industry a long time. I have no idea where he is now. Did I design all my stop motion characters? Any that I made for personal films, I design all my characters. Absolutely. It's part of the fun. I remember discovering your blog when you first creating. Yeah, Gerald's Last Day was my first, experience in stop motion, and I totally fell in love. So I'm blown away that people still know me from that. I'm really excited, and it's been this really interesting graduation into social media for me from the blog, which was already, I guess it's a little more my style, meaning an old guy, because you're writing like a diary. But but I'm really so happy that some of you guys that followed that are still here. No, that would be awesome if I animated live. Okay. All right, I'll do it. I'll maybe my next my big cool thing I'll do for you. So I got a question here. In your own work, do you mostly stick to wire armature? Yes. Almost 99.9% wire armature because it's way easier for me. Less hassle. I can count on it more. Even though it breaks, I can count on it more. Real armatures take a lot of maintenance, and they've always failed me at the wrong time or been a big pain in the ass. Broke or limited. I can't bend them as much as I want, get the action I want out of them. So unless I'm at a feature house like Leica or working on a feature, I use wire at home. It's way cheaper, way faster, and we know how to make good armatures that last a long time. Did you and Shell meet in art context or just shared interest? No. So like Shell had zero art background. I met Shell rock climbing 24 or 5 years ago. And yeah, 24 or something like a long time ago. And we met she was a dancer, a professional dancer and a therapist. So dance was her art, right? But she's so good at doing anything and everything. She's such a natural artist that when she started helping up, she can basically make anything. Like she's the person around the house that fixes everything. So it was a perfect match that we started mixing the art with our, creation together and stuff like that. Have I ever tried working with hot toys, 1/6 figures? I've only worked with one toy, guys, and that's He-Man. He-Man's the only toy, Moju, that I've ever worked with. So I'm very inexperienced. And one of the reasons I took on He-Man as a toy was just so I could communicate and be like, oh, this is how Toymation works. So that when I am doing my episodes, I'll have some information. Dude, Renaud! What's up, man? One of my fellow Blizzard artists. From a fan. Aw, man, thanks for swinging by. I'm not amazing. I'm just doing what I love, man. Just doing what I love. Did I shoot reference for my Alien Xmas? Zero. On Alien Xmas, it's a cartoony show, right? 1. 2, it's fast. It's not like Leica where they have $1 million zillion. They have a lower budget. You don't do rehearsals on Alien Xmas. You're shooting just like you're shooting kind of on a TV show, except they expect a higher quality. So zero reference, all just making it up as you go, and really fun and liberating as an animator because in stop motion, right, you don't know what you're going to get. So it's magic, right? It can be a big fail or it can be a huge fun thing. So I definitely had fun on Alien Xmas because there was no, it's a show, it's a cartoon. And, we don't want it to look like people in alien suits, right? We want it to look like a cartoon. So I was very happy about that. Very, very happy about that. He-Man commercials were really good. Thank you. I had so much fun. And they're just sneak peeks. The real film's coming on Thanksgiving, so keep your eyes open. The full 2-minute short that me and my wife made is coming next week. And I did another one, which you can see back there, that's just for the channel. A new one with Evelyn, where she's doing some dialogue. So I'll be sharing that one tomorrow for the channel. And I'll probably do also a nicer, longer episode on my channel on how to do lip sync, which people are always curious about. And I'll show my process. And one of the things I have to say is like my process is not right. It's just what I do. So everybody has different ways of doing things, and it works for me. So I'm hoping, because sometimes I'll put up ways I do things, and people are like, that's not how you should do that. I'm like, whatever, that's how I do it. Sorry. But I like to share process for sure. Okay, sorry guys, I'm shaking here. I'm trying to scroll. Is there a possibility that we see a complete He-Man and Masters of the Universe Toymation series? Oh, Masters of the Universe convention. I would be so happy to be a part of doing a Toymation series. I I animated the 2 minutes. We did that film in 7 weeks from start to finish. That's storyboarding, sets, puppets, lighting, camera, editing, sound, and post effects in 7 weeks. So I would love to do a series of 2 minute episodes for the internet or something like that. But I can't do it on my own anymore because it's a lot of time that I don't have, of course, and it's, I want to make some money at this. If people are wanting to see that stuff, I want to get paid. So I hope that could happen because the response has been really, really good. And I think definitely seeing those toys come to life the way I want to animate them and can animate them would be really special. I really believe that, and I think the fans would freak out. So I sure hope someone from Mattel likes it too, wants to make that happen. That'd be amazing. Okay, love my work. Thanks, Hector. Mellow Girl. Hey. Can you animate stop motion anime style? Am I the best? You know what? I'm super American, Abdel. I had such a little experience with anime till I got into art school. I grew up on American animation, like old stuff like Tom and Jerry, Looney Tunes, uh, Jetsons, Flintstones, Hanna-Barbera, Disney, Don Bluth, like really American stuff. So I was really influenced by that until I went to art school, and then I got introduced to anime, and I was like, wow, this is really cool. But so absolutely, I can animate anime style, but I haven't had the opportunity yet because I don't really have any character designs when I design my own characters that are kind of anime style because my influences are so Western. But I think that if I was given the opportunity, meaning like, on Overwatch, the video games that I work on, a lot of the people are really influenced by anime, right? So when they storyboard the films or they make it tell the stories, they're coming from an influence of anime. So I get to animate in CG kind of in that style. But in stop motion, somebody would have to hire me because I just don't have the time in my own design sense, or my design aesthetic is not leaning that direction. But if someone was like, hey, my kids love Dragon Ball Z, my kids love, a lot of the cartoons that they played here in America for kids in the 90s and 2000s, 2010. So they have a huge anime influence, which they would love for me to do that too. So something like Dragon Ball Z would make my kids super happy, and I'd love to play with it. If someone was making those toys or figures and they're like, Justin, animate him, I'd be like, hell yeah, I'd love to. He-Man is a great character to start with. Yeah, I agree. He's in my top 3 for 80s American toys. Huge influence, and I had so much fun with it that it was reliving my little kidness. Yeah, making my little kid heart light up is all I can say. I was having so much fun every time I do these. Greetings from Colombia. Awesome. Hey, buenos dias. Do you think you'll continue with Toymation? Some, not all. But like my aesthetic is for my personal projects. So my Viking design is mine. That's a story we want to tell, me and my wife. I'm getting into this live action stop motion mix stuff, which was way more like from the Harryhausen days that I was massively influenced by. So this weekend I'm going to be going out and shooting a plate that I'm going to, and when I say a plate, for anyone who doesn't know film, video of a real location with some action that I will then composite my stop motion character into to try to make a believable creature experience. So I can't wait to show you. That's the next thing I'm tackling after I finish the Evelyn that I just will show tomorrow. And then I'm working on our personal project. And if someone hires me, I'm hoping this He-Man stuff opens some doors. Thundercats, please. Transformers. G.I. Joe. I have a few other toys that I really love, and I would love Ninja Turtles to bring to life. I would definitely jump back on Toymation for sure. Pretty much any 80s cartoon style that looks like action figure movie. Hey, Lucas, to be in my live video, Devoot. Okay, so we'll try it again because I don't know what happened in that last one, but wait a sec. I got a question here. When do you think the new Toymation test that you will do come out? Tomorrow. I finished it tomorrow. I'm putting the last of the video out, and it'll show up tomorrow. Can you tell anything new about the Viking short? It's called The Beast. So that tells you one little thing. It's got a hunt in it. It's got heart. Like a lot of my shorts have heart. This one has heart. It has fantasy. A lot of the things that I love. Me and Shelly wrote it together. We write pretty much everything together. It's all storyboarded. The whole film is storyboarded. I have an animatic. I did the voiceover for it. It looks really cool. I might share that through one of my episode videos and showing it soon. We'll see. When you started Gerald, was your goal to get into No, not at all. Stop mo professionally. My goal doing Gerald was to make a short film. I'm a filmmaker. I'm an animator, and I make films every couple years. So it was just to get my hands dirty, get back into art again, physical art, not computer art. And I fell in love. And because I am so trained in animation, doors just opened up because I became a good animator pretty fast because I understood 2D animation. I understood the craft of animation. So applying it to a new medium was pretty quick for me. And because I'm so in love with three-dimensional, real physical artwork anyways, it just happened. All right, David, I'm going to try this, see if you share and see what happens. Go live with David. All right, maybe we'll have I don't know what's going to happen when I do this. Did I ask that twice or did you answer it twice? Maybe I answered it twice. We'll see. So we're waiting for David. Okay, please share the storyboard. Yes. Yes. I think I will. I will at some point because I really love sharing process of how a film's made, how stop motion film's made, how any film's made, right? And it all starts with character designs, and then it goes into puppets and story. It all starts with writing. Very often, sometimes the only way I'll change that is I'll get a character design that I really love, and then I think about a story that goes with the character. But obviously, a story can come to you at any point. Let's see here. Abdul, super inspiring. Yeah, I'll definitely share the storyboards for sure. I got a question here. Hello, greetings from Guatemala. Am I publishing a mini comic now and wanted to know your opinion? Sure. You want to send it over, DM me, and I'll take a look. I love getting inspired by other people. So yeah, I'd love to see it. Shoot it over. If we're not friends, I'll accept you or whatever, and we'll work it out. Do I do mentorships? Yeah, I do every week. I have students. I teach privately, and I charge for my time. So it's a real class that I teach, 12-week course. I have 3 of them that I teach, depending on your levels of skill set, and I'm getting pickier and pickier about who I take on. Because I'm very much, my time is precious, right? I have family, I have my personal art, I have full-time job, and then I have social media. I have so many things that I'm doing that my sleeping time is going, and it's going further and further away. And I know this because that's how I get anything done in this life is typically taking away from my Z's. But it's worth it because I get to create and I get to be my own master in the stories I'm telling, and it feeds my soul. It's soul food. So I really, really love it. But as for mentorships, yes, I teach. If you're interested, hit me up and I'll send you the prices and stuff like that, and I'll look at your reel and see if it's something we could do or not. How do you use XY winders with a walk cycle? I don't know. Any way you can. I usually don't use winders on a walk cycle. That's something definitely that's very common at Leica, because they everything lately has been moving to winders. They didn't used to do it, but it makes things easier to control your increments and your character. But I think it's just you wind it. You just wind it, whatever your eighth of an inch, your quarter of an inch, whatever your movement looks right, and X and Y, however it works, go up and down and forward. I think it's pretty straightforward. Renaud, this is an odd one. What's the story behind my amazing head tattoo? Everybody asks this all the time. So, but because you're my buddy, I'll tell you, and whoever's in here will get some information. So my head tattoo, I've had my head tattoo for a very long time. I used to draw comic books many years ago, and I had a comic that had all these men that had bald heads in one of the tribes of the comic. And all of the bald-headed men had marks upon their dome for different things they did in the tribe, right? Different roles they played or different actions that they had accomplished. So the guy that had the three stripes, these three stripes here and the dots going down the back, was the storyteller of the tribe. So usually at the beginning of the comic, he would set out, it was kind of a pattern thing where he'd be like, talk to the people, and then this is what happened. And he would drag his three fingers down his head like this and then point them to the tribe. And then the story would begin from me to you like this. And I used to shave it into my head for years. And then at a certain point, I'm like, I'm just going to tattoo it. We're going permanent. So I've had the stripes up there for, my daughter's, basically majority of my daughter's life, which is about 18 years. Work in the industry as an animator and would love to send you my reel. Sure, Miguel, yeah, absolutely. If you're already working as an animator, I think you're talking about stop motion. I'll definitely look at your reel. I can give you feedback, no problem. Hola. Becoming a character you created, sick. Yeah, I mean, I think most people, artists, we definitely, put a little bit of ourselves, right, from the inside or the outside into a lot of our characters, be it a design or experiences we've had, whatever. A lot of that definitely goes. Me gustan tu stop motion. Gracias. Thank you. It's Avatar-esque. Yeah, but I had it way before Avatar. Don't forget that. And all the little kids are always like, whoa, Dad, Avatar. They always yell that at me. I had my stripes way before Avatar had his. That's so cool. Thank you. Yeah, no problem, Renaud. Great to see you here, man. Got a question here. Okay. You work at Blizzard, but also are self-employed. What percentage of your time would you say you spend on freelance teaching? Okay, so 9 to 5, really more like 9 to 6 or 7. I work for Blizzard. I full-time direct or animate. Those are my jobs. I've been animating for them for the past 5 years, and recently just moved into directing. It's awesome, but it takes up your whole day. Then I have family, right? So after that, I go downstairs. We're all working from home right now, so it's easy, right? I have coffee with my wife in the morning. I have lunch with my family there. We go downstairs. We have dinner at 7 after this live stream. I'm going to go have dinner, and we hang out, right? We watch a movie. We play in the gym. We horse around, whatever it is, until nighttime, right? And then when people start to go to bed, if my daughter has to do homework or my wife has to work in the morning, sleepy, that's when my night begins. So after everybody goes to bed, I come in here and I sculpt. I go in the garage or I animate. or I'm animating on the computer here, CG, that's when I get my personal work done. And if I'm doing, like, I don't know, like a freelance stop motion gig or something like that, or making a puppet for someone, that happens at night. If I'm working on my personal projects, it always happens at night. But usually 9 to 6 or 7, I'm dedicated to Blizzard. From midnight to 6 in the morning, that's my time, and I can do whatever I want. I try to go to bed by 3. I can't stay up like I used to because I'm older now. But for many years, I would burn some life calories staying up all night doing art. But it's the only time to have balance with my family and also do my personal work, which feeds my soul. Do you have a Patreon to help pay for some of the things? No, man. That's a great question. I'm so overwhelmed by all the social media stuff, right? Like it takes so much for me to get used to one of them, and I'm still bumbling around Instagram, not knowing how to do so much. I do TikTok. I do Twitter. I do YouTube. I'm trying to build my YouTube channel. I need to have a YouTube channel that's, going to be able to hopefully bring passive income someday and show episodes, and all of that takes editing. All that takes time, shooting new footage, content for you guys, like the one I'm going to drop tomorrow. I'm shooting tons of content. That takes time in stop motion. Um, Patreon is one that I haven't looked into because I don't know anyone personally really that's found financial success there. But maybe I need to. Maybe you're right. Like I just don't know how. Oh, but teaching, right? All that stuff I was saying too from 9 to 5. So like the hour before I do that, I'll teach. Before I go to work in the morning, I'll teach, which is another hour a couple times a week. So there's a lot of time being used here. Hey, damn. But I have goals, guys. I have real goals, and being a director has been a real goal of mine for a long time. So getting to direct at Blizzard is huge. You see the future of the industry going permanently to work from home pipelines? No, I don't. But it sure opens up a bunch of opportunity that I'm really happy about. I love working at home. If I'm on a stop motion film, of course not. I want to be on set with all of the artists, and even in CG, it's nice to be around other artists. It's cool. But for a lot of the computer jobs, like I'm amazed at Blizzard, like we're moving. Zero, we're not losing a step on cinematics. We're creating the same stuff, having the same beautiful quality of work come through. It's pretty amazing. So Patreon is a subscription program that would support. Yeah, I know. I understand a little bit about how it works. I just am afraid that no one would sign up for me, and then I'd be having one more thing that I have to do, or or maybe it would hurt my teaching income. I don't know, but I'll look into it. Thank you. Any advice to start sculpture, stop motion puppet build? Yeah, design it on paper first. Start on paper. It's going to make everything easier. But I understand not everyone can draw, right? So I really do understand that. And that's one of the cool things about stop motion is you can find a character in 3 dimension, in the third dimension, meaning if you're not a great drawer, you just build one and you sculpt it. And you can find good artists and find your puppet through builds. So then if you can't draw, build an armature. And what an armature is, just a wire skeleton that you can sculpt on. I'd say that's the first advice. And then make sure it's drilled down to a board so you have some stability as you're designing your character. Now the real story. Those are Wolverine scars. Wolverine. That was my favorite best comic book star or character growing up. Whoa, what's up? Hey, man. Good to see you all the way from Leica. Hope you were well up there. Cool, thank you. You must be super organized. I don't think I'm super organized. I'm just a really hardworking person. and I'm disciplined. I have a lot of discipline. So I feel weak, definitely, and I feel like tired all the time, but I just go like one step, another step, take another step, and then it just happens. And because I love this stuff, I love stop motion, I love creating animation, I'm able once I get going to just fly because I get so high off of it. It's a drug. It's such a drug. When you come into Pinocchio, oh my God, don't say that to me. You know I want to work on Pinocchio. You know I want to work on Pinocchio. That's the number one film ever in the history of my love that I want to work on in stop motion, Pinocchio. I've been asked a couple times, but I wasn't able to get time off from Blizzard. And maybe if things chill out later in the year, I don't know what the Pinocchio schedule is. Or maybe if they would let me just come up for a few weeks, like 3 weeks, I'll take a vacation. I would come up and work on it. I just don't think that's likely that they would give me the chance. But if they would, I would take a 3-week vacation and come work on Pinocchio. So tell anyone that needs to know that, because I would love it. That's what I did on Alien Xmas. I took a 3-week vacation to go work on a film, and it was amazing. It was super fun to play on. You found me through Stop Motion Magazine, YouTube interview, and your wife working on Gerald's Last Day. Oh, that's awesome. And always a fan of Warcraft. Fantastic. I'm so cool that you found me there. Finished Crash 4 from home. I don't want to go back to the office. Yeah, that's cool, man. Me neither, dude. And man, Crash 4, what a fun one. I worked for Activision for years. I wanted that project so bad. I wanted to work on Crash so bad. I did a few different Crash prototypes, and I thought we were going to get it, and it just didn't come. So what a joyous project that was. Crash Bandicoot's one of my favorite games ever. Okay. Hey, from Boring, Oregon, can you recommend an alternative for Dragonframe for a low, no budget animators? I can't remember the name of it because all I use is Dragonframe, but it's the most popular one. It's like stop motion capture or something like that. If you type in stop mo apps on your phone, you'll find it right away. It's really inexpensive. It does pretty much anything you need, and it's not going to break your bank. So, kind of basic survival stop motion kit. I guess so, but I don't think of it that way because it just kind of piles up. But I have like sticky wax. I have, little pliers and tools, a hot glue gun, a screw gun to drill holes, of course. I have tweezers, clays. That's pretty much the majority of what I got. Thanks for answering all our questions. Yeah, I will. I didn't realize till last week that I can record my live and download it. I'm like, oh my God, that's why I'm here again. So I'm going to put it up on my YouTube channel. So go check it out if you want to watch after. Justin Rasch Animation on YouTube. I'll put the Instagram up there for sure. Hello from India. What's up, Pavan? Akbar, hey. What's the smallest size of puppet to capture all emotions and gesture? Oh man, emotions can be so much more than a facial expression. So I think you can do a lot. It's hard. It's really hard, but posing can do all of the emotional communication you need to communicate sadness or happiness or joy or wonder or curiosity or anger. So I don't know, maybe a couple inches, you would be able to do some really, some clear stuff. It's hard, but you could do it. Let's see here. Have you submitted any of your shorts to festivals? Yeah, a lot. And they've done incredibly well. More about the achievement in the story. Okay, so Gerald's Last Day, for instance, we went all over the United States, all over, and it played all over the world. We won so many awards on Gerald's Last Day and had beautiful, fun adventures traveling America. me and my wife. It was so fun to go watch it and all these festivals, and we really won probably like 20 best animated short video awards. We won cash prizes. We won a lot of cool stuff. And actually, Gerald's Last Day is how Leica found me. There was a Leica animator who saw it and took it to the bosses, and that's how I got in contact. They saw Gerald. And same with Dogonauts. We traveled all over on Dogonauts. Not quite as much, but it still went all over the world, and it was really fun. We've made 3 films that we've done all the festival circuits with, and it was really, really a lot of joy. This new one, we'll go there too, the Viking short for sure. And of course, as it says, no, sorry, I mean your YouTube channel about sculpture and puppet making. You want me to make something, you want me to make an episode on puppet making? I have a bunch on there that you should check out, but I can do more specific step-by-step stuff. We'll be here forever on Pinocchio? Dude, tell him to call me. We'll work it out. Justin, what's up? Camareno. Hey. That sounds soul-splitting. Okay, let's see. Bye, man. Have a good one. You too, dude. Stopmo Studio. Yes, that is the name. I'm sorry you couldn't give us a talk on UAL. I hope you'll be able to do one soon. Yeah, I enjoy talking to students a lot because I still remember that feeling of about to go out into the world and all the wonder and who knows what's going to happen. And so I'll definitely do a talk at your school. Again, we just got to organize the time, figure it out. Can you see the toys behind me? Sure. There's a bunch up there. A lot of Marvel, some Conan. We got some Dungeons and Dragons, some DC. Got a lot up there. I got a lot of toys. I'm a huge collectible guy. I'm actually doing a bunch of series right now using all my Stopmo collectibles where I'm going to talk about them all. And you guys will see those on my channels. I did Coraline so far and the Tauntaun from Star Wars, but I got a lot. Hey from France. What's up, man? Hey, Half-Blood. Bobby. Meeting the Z's soon. Looking forward to your live. Thanks, Donnie from Portugal. I'll definitely, I look forward to watching one of yours again, too. Later. Thanks for answering one of my questions. Best wishes for all my upcoming projects. No problem, Pavan. My joy. Yo, Kung Fu Studios, what's up? Live stream. Okay, how do you make natural movements? Whew, that's a big question. So much goes into it. First, the craft of animation. I would suggest first you have to learn how things move, right? You have to study movement. You can do that through just watching. You can read books, Animator Survival Kit. You can study live action reference. You can frame through videos and cartoons and take note as to what's making things read or not. But really, what makes animation have weight, what makes animation have entertainment, quality, balance, all the fundamentals of animation, it's studying the craft. If you understand the craft of animation, you can animate in 2D, in stop motion, in CG, and you will be able to create the illusion of life, the illusion of weight, the illusion of natural movements and real gravity and physics. So study, read the Animator Survival Kit, and frame through animation. If you like a piece of animation, put it on pause and go one frame at a time and study it. Do study. What do you recommend for animation struggling with timing and spacing? Oh, wow. Again, I think work simple. Because I teach people every week timing and spacing, right, in my classes. So if you're getting really complicated, you're working with a character that has 5 joints, a head, a neck, a hands, arms, and legs, you might not be able to concentrate on timing and spacing in the same way that you can with just a piece of clay, a circle, a dime, a quarter, where you can really take in the information as to what timing is and what increments mean and how much timing and spacing brings to a piece of animation. And then you can get more complicated, right? You start adding complexity by adding character, right? And then you start being able to not be overwhelmed in the same way. So I think starting really simple and getting an idea of how much entertainment can be in timing, how much weight can be in timing, how much, what it really takes to understand how tiny increments versus large spaces or large spacing, small spacing, what that makes things feel like, you're going to be able to apply that into, obviously more complex animation. But practice, I would just say practice simple things. A little ball can have tons of personality. And you will, if you can apply it to a ball, you can kill it with a real character. Thunder Punch He-Man, Moju, hey man. Got a new one coming out tomorrow, Evelyn. Just finished her last night, or this morning, I should say. Were Rabbit. Yeah, Were Rabbit's up there. I'll definitely do an episode on Were Rabbit too. Dragon's Lair. Oh, did you say Dragon's Lair? Huge fan. Huge fan. Big reason I'm an animator. Another one. Yep, James the Giant Peach is up there. We got a few of them. Beryl. Thank you from Israel, or from America to Israel. Thank you, Beryl. Burrell, that was awesome. I appreciate it. Study Justin Rasch. Yeah, well, dude, why not, right? I'll frame through your work, you frame through mine. Definitely, just to give you an example, whenever I'm on a show or a TV series or part of my day, every day, is looking at the other animators' choices and how they made those choices, what kind of effect. I think, I do like that, I don't like that, I would change this. You can learn so much by just studying all the animators that you work with every day. And if you don't have animators that you're working with, then study the cartoons you watch on your DVDs or on a streaming service or whatever. Okay, can you tell us your experience about work with Motu toys? They're hard. They're really challenging. The Motu toys were my first Toymation. So I had never done Toymation. I've only done puppet animation because I've always made my puppets. So very limited. The figures can only rotate. They can't bend at the spine, right? So I have to figure out all kinds of weird ways to make them feel like they still have weight and that they flex and have follow through. There's a few things I had to do, like I added tie downs to the feet because the feet will just slap around everywhere, or I use clay to stabilize the feet in positions. He-Man is so buff and Skeletor is so buff that, their arms won't bend very far, right? They'll go like kunk, 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 and they hit a bicep. So I don't have quite as much range as I want as an animator. So I shaved down a little bit of the biceps with some X-Acto knives for certain poses to make sure I can get a little further than I would just with a natural toy. And since the arms pop on and off, whenever I need to get a little bit more range, I'll pop on the arm with a little bit shaved down bicep, and then I'll pop on the real arm when it comes, or the full arm when it comes back to an open arm pose. So there's all kinds of little tricks that it's all like just problem solving. But I love working with them because I grew up with those toys and I grew up with those characters. So figuring out, how to get through the limitations and still create believable action and animation has been really fun. But it's not easy. I would never use the word easy. It's actually really hard. I think anyone that tries those toys is going to be like, oh, this is going to be easy. And then they're like, holy shit, this is freaking hard. Really challenging stuff. Do I prefer wire, ball, or socket? Wire. Any day of the week, I prefer wire. I can squash my character as far as I want. It's so much more stable and reliable than, like every single time I do any shot in armature, it has to go back to the shop in the middle sometimes of a shot. I'm like, how am I supposed to be efficient. I have to move fast and do all these shots. I don't have if you're working at Leica, I have a whole department of armaturists that will fix whatever I need. But for me, as a guy working in my garage, it's just me and my wife, Shelly, right? So we're like, if something breaks, I'm like, hey, babe, can you help me out? I need this or that, or I just have to fix it on set. So it's way. I prefer wire for any independent stuff that I do, and honestly, for the action stuff I do, a lot of the times armatures are limited. An arm won't bend past a certain point without a double elbow, special action armature, or the knees hit limitations when I'm bending. I can't squash a character down how we move in flesh, right? Where we can get really crunchy. So I prefer wire. But if you're doing Leica animation, armatures are obviously the way to go because it's so much easier to do clean work than with a wire. Animatable Alex, hey man, got some questions here, so I'm going to read them out. Can you post a detailed video of the ankles on Battle Cat Origins? Maybe I can. I don't know how. So it takes a lot of time for me to do videos, right? And people are definitely interested in how I modded Battle Cat's ankles, and I don't know how much time I want to invest in that, but maybe I'll do a quick video where I just show. But all I really did, just so you know, is I sawed them off with a Dremel, sawed them off. I put in some epoxy with wire that then attached to epoxy that was in the forearm of the cat, and then it just bent. That's it, and it's super simple. But I can think about trying to put a video together. Especially if I do future Motu stuff, because then I could just use real footage of me doing stuff as I'm working. Let's see here. How would you go about casting foam latex over ball and socket armature? So I've done this many times. I've done it over ball and socket, not that much, but I know the process. All you do is you have to wrap the armature in some kind of a plastic so that it doesn't get rusty and weird corrosion on it. There's a spray you can put on it too. I don't know the name, but if you look for it, it's kind of like a rubberizing spray or something. But I would just cover it in like some kind of a clear plastic rack with like rubber bands, and it'll protect your armature as you cast in foam. All right, what another question? Do you remember the first time that you asked for work as an animator? In art school, college, I had a teacher who asked me to do some animation because he saw that I was a good artist, 2D animator. So he had his own business and he was doing some commercial stuff. And he asked if I would do some in-betweens. Because back then you would have key animators and then in-betweeners. So that was the first time I was asked to do animation. And then question, what was your first stop motion and can we see? I've actually posted my first stop motion. It's kind of a Bumble character from like the Rudolph movies. If you watch my episodes, you will see it on my YouTube channel, Justin Rasch Animation. You will see the Bumble, but I can post it on my social media too. I'm sure it might even be on my TikTok if you want to go check it out. But you can see exactly where I started, which wasn't very good. But it was fun. It was really fun. Okay, and then we got, would you consider working on your own animated movie or series? Are you kidding me? That's the dream. My dream is to direct and animate, of course, on my own film, my own stories, and series, of course. Yeah, that's my dream. Obviously doing my shorts, I get to taste that, right? Because it's my own stories. But to do it for something like Netflix or Amazon or one of the big streaming services would be incredibly cool. Or Mattel, even doing it for Mattel, like a He-Man series. I would love that. I would love it. Okay, questions.
Let's see. What was your experience working with Frantic Frames? Frantic Frames is great. He's a very young kid, and I'm a very old man. And he's full of beans, and he was really informative for me as an old guy because I am new to social media, and he is perfectly aged and obviously very successful at doing it. He's going to art school right now, so it was cool to have him come out and visit and see the set. And we are definitely going to do a collaboration. We were just talking about it yesterday. Um, I'm really impressed with how he has built his following, and the next step is obviously making a living at it, right? So me as a professional animator, I'm already making a living doing what I love as an animator, but I want to make a living doing my stuff as an animator, right? My projects, right? My stories, and independently in my garage or with my family and my wife. So that's my next goal. But working with him was great, and we have a piece we're going to do together that you guys will see. It'll be my first collaboration, actually. And then, what's the hardest thing you had to animate? Hmm. Hard question. Hard question. What was the hardest thing that I had to animate? I don't know, man. I don't know if I can answer that. I mean, it sounds silly, but maybe the He-Man figures, the Motu figures, because I'm so used to full puppets that going to really limited rotations on a toy was really hard. So I think the He-Man, Skeletor, Beastman, uh, Battle Cat was super hard to animate because he's so not built for animation. He has no joints in his spine, his legs barely move, and he had no ankles. But using what I know about animation, I was still able to get a little bit of successful life into that toy. So I would say toys have been the hardest thing I've animated in my whole career, but I really enjoyed it. So it's not like it wasn't fun. It just was really challenging. Let's see here. Were you scared to leave CG originally when you went to Leica? Yeah, I wasn't scared to leave CG, but I was scared to go to stop motion because stop motion was a whole different world. And I still, it's so funny. Every time I go work on a film, I've been working in stop motion for over 10 years, like 12 years now. I still feel like a phony. I still feel like I'm a tourist. You know what I mean? I'm like all these real cool stop motion people, and I'm just some faker CG guy who's here pretending to be a stop motion person for a few minutes. And it's a silly feeling that I have. I'm a stop motion person. I make my own films. I make puppets. I animate my garage all the time, but I definitely feel like an outsider. But I am so in love with stop motion. I am so enthusiastic about stop motion and passionate that when I go to these films, I am geeking out so much. I have so much. I'm literally geeking out like it's a dream. Like, I cannot believe I'm on set. I cannot believe I'm moving these amazing puppets. I'm making a film, a movie. I never could imagine that I would make movies. I'm making movies. Like, I'm so pumped about it that I think that weird kind of feeling like an outsider thing goes away. But I was scared. I was definitely because I just felt like an outsider going to a whole new world. But I wasn't afraid to leave CG because I knew I could always come back to CG. I'm a CG animator. I'm a 2D. I'm an animator, right? I don't even call myself a CG animator. I'm an animator. You can give me anything, a pencil, a brick, I'll animate it. So yeah, that's it. Have you seen Mad God? I wish I worked with Phil Tippett. Phil Tippett's one of my heroes. He's up there with Harryhausen to me. I have not worked. I've seen Mad God, pieces of it. but I've never worked with Phil Tippett, and I would love to meet him someday. I do hope to cross paths at some point. I follow him on Instagram, of course, and leave little comments here and there. Love your animations. Thank you, 11 Studios. That's awesome. What Bluth stuff? Oh, Bluth stuff that influenced me. Secret and them. Do you see my wall? It's like 90% Don Bluth stuff. 90%. It's huge. All of those. That Space Ace. All of those. So much. Dragon's Lair, Space Ace, Secret and Nim, Land Before Time. Those were so massive. I loved the design sense, and of course, my heart fell in love with Secret of Nim, which is still probably my favorite animated film ever. So that was the number one influence, and I would love to someday be able to create that kind of magic in stop motion. I really would love that. So that's like a monster goal of mine someday. Okay, Dave Wood sent a request to be in my live video. Yeah, I thought I already said that. Go live, yeah. Let's try it. How long will my Moju movie be? 2 minutes. It's 2 minutes long, but but that's what I could do in my garage with my wife in 7 weeks. Like I said, I would love to do a series. If that's something Mattel or any of the fans would want, would I geek out. I would love to do like 7, 6, 8 episodes, with serious action, like the kind of action I wanted to see when I was a kid that I didn't get to see. I loved watching He-Mans. I did. But there was not enough action in those shows. There was not enough action for me, and there was not enough sword fighting. And I understand they had to keep it chill for kids, right? Because of violence and stuff. But man, when I played with my toys on the floor, they were fighting. My characters were fighting, and they were having awesome battles. And I would love to show a little bit more of that action like I show in my film so far, because that was. It's so cool. It's so cool. And I would love to do it. So if you think of it that way, if I was doing 6 2-minute episodes, that's 12 minutes. Obviously, that would be awesome. And just do an overarching kind of storyline. It'd be really fun. Really fun. Man, I love Dragon's Lair. Still waiting for Don Bluth to drop it. Yeah, me too. Huge Dragon's Lair fan. Huge. Oh, thanks, Arda from Peru. Appreciate it. Hey, from Hungary again. Oh, man, thanks for coming again. Abraham. Hello. Okay, got some more questions here. Prince Adam's shoulders didn't even want to bend. Yeah, no kidding. They're stiff. They're stiff. The one I had the most trouble with was Beastman, surprisingly. He-Man and Skeletor weren't horrible. But when I went to animate Beastman, I had so much trouble running him and jumping, and he's a beast, right? He wants to be in these cool poses, and I couldn't get his arms or to move like I wanted. I was really struggling with that one. Okay, so questions. Thanks for all you do and bringing something I love to life. Can't wait for more. My pleasure, man. Take care too. I hope to do more, and keep your eyes open for Evil N. I like how it came out. Do I still play with 2D sometimes? I do. My daughter is an artist, and she is a 2D artist and animator. So I play with that with her sometimes, and it's really fun. I definitely have to do a 2D animated film someday too. It's on my list. I haven't done 2D animated films since I left art school. Let's see what else they say here. Do you shoot reference videos for personal work? Nope. I don't. I for my garage work, not ever. Sometimes I've done it, but rarely. And there's times I should do it. when I did the Tila, I don't know if you know my work, but if on the Tila animation where she was moving the stick around going, that was really hard. And I should have shot reference for that because I didn't know what the heck I was doing with that staff. And I was really struggling on like how the staff moves and obviously her limitations in her shoulders and arms and wrists. Uh, so there's times I definitely would shoot reference at home, but it's pretty rare. It's very rare. Like this one I just did with Tila and Evelyn and stuff like that. You'll see they're cool, but they're like I'm not interested in doing live action on my toys. I want to animate. I want to have fun and just, like what I do is I'll block out poses. Like I sat down with Evelyn and just tried to see what kind of poses she could hit before I even started. And then I acted it out because I always act it out regardless. And I'm a mover, right? So I put things in my body. And I'm like, okay, I'm going to have her start this way. And she's going to be looking over her shoulder. Then she's going to turn. And then she's going to say this. And then I go through and I figure out which poses, right? And I'll either draw them down in little thumbnails or I'll just, wing it like we do on television shows or like Alien Xmas, we wing it. And then what happens, happens. And, I ran into some limitations that were definitely not what I was hoping for with the Evelyn animation I just did or with Tila, but I made it work. You just figure it out. You improvise. How long will your Motu movie be? How many copies of each individual Motu character were in play to pull it off? Two each. Two characters each. So I had a backup character for like clean arms, clean, legs, or a clean chest, or clean, back, whatever, because of rigs. But that was it. Two Skeletors, two He-Mans, two Tilas, two Beastmans, whoever I was using in the film, two Man-at-Arms, and two Evil-Ends. And say elbow. Okay, send me the Battle Cat. No, I hope I'm keeping my Battle Cats because I want to do more, right? So hopefully, if they say, "Hey, Justin, do a series or something," I'm gonna have some toys ready to go. Do you use programs like After Effects and Photoshop? Yes, absolutely, all the time. I just put the mouth shapes that I'm doing for this dialogue all in After Effects. I drew them in Photoshop and I put them on the stop motion animation on a layer in After Effects. And so that, yeah, it's an awesome tool. I use them all the time. After Effects is an amazing tool for stop motion. Like, you know how it is, like in Photoshop, whenever I paint out wires, I composite or I put all my frames together in the end in After Effects and output to a movie. 3 advices to make our animation portfolio better. Oh, so hard, guys. When people ask me for advice like this, clean, show clean arcs. If you're talking about stop motion, right? Clean arcs. You have to have a technical ability that's clean. Character. Showing something that's not flat or boring. Show characters with emotions or attitudes or just character. And then 3 is fundamentals of animation. Show all the fundamentals. If you show you understand, like anticipation, good posing, weight, follow through, like all those fundamentals, your animation is going to stand out from the crowd because people that just go in and start moving characters around are not going to know that stuff, and their work is always going to be less because they're not studied. So that's I guess my advice is. How long will my Motu movie be? 2 minutes. 2 minutes long. Hello. Okay, excited. It's really inspiring watching you enjoying your work. Oh, thank you. Yeah, I love working with my daughters. She storyboarded the whole He-Man film, and it was her first professional job as a young woman, and she wants to be a storyboard artist. So she got that huge experience to do a real short from start to finish with revisions and feedback, and it's really awesome. she's so much better than me now as a 2D artist that it's been really awesome. And I'm so excited to watch her, about to go on this huge art adventure. She's going to England next year to go to art school. And she's, I'm just so excited for her, in chasing down whatever she wants in her art field. What would you choose between stop motion and 3D? Oh, stop motion. Any day of the week. I love stop motion. I love stop motion. And I love CG too, but if you're talking about my heart, stop motion for sure. For sure. Tila kicking butt. Yeah, you'll see her doing some kicking butt very soon. I had to actually modify Tila first for a kick in the short, which you'll see. You'll see. Because I couldn't get her legs to kick properly. So I had to do some hip damage or some hip movements. Gotta run, Justin. All right, man. Thank you for coming. Good to see you, dude. Okay, got some questions here. How large is the He-Man set? It's freaking amazing. It's 4x8. It's a 4x8 piece of wood with a 2-foot extension in the back. So I guess that's actually 6x8, a 6x8 piece. And thank you. It's really fun to make sets. I can't wait to make more. I want to make Castle Grayskull. I want to make, Eternia. I want to make the Swamplands, the jungles. I want to make all the He-Man universe sets. So, come on, Mattel, come get me. Can I check out your animations? Yeah, man, if you DM me your reel or something, I'll check them out. How long will be your Motu movie? Someone keeps asking that same question. 2 minutes. 2 minutos. Any tips on what we new filmmakers should look for when hunting an animator to collaborate with? Well, obviously quality, right? Itty bitty quality of work is huge, right? Like if you have an artist who's good, typically they're going to cost more money, unfortunately, but that's because they've put a lot of hours into becoming good. I think having a really clear vision before you start working with your artist is really important, because trying to find what you want drives artists crazy because they're just spinning their wheels doing wasted work. And unless they know that's the deal from up front, if you can come in with the clearest idea that you can, it's going to make your relationship with your animator way better. Kelly, what's up, dude? Fellow stop motion lover and CG professional. Good to see you too, man. Titan AE was severely underrated. Yeah, I enjoyed it, man. Science fiction, I dug it, and that early mix of some CG for the robot dudes was cool. Hey, man, can't wait for the He-Man video. Me too. New animation test drops tomorrow, though, for Evelyn, the next character. She's the last one in my group of the toys that I got. So I'll have to get a hold of some Wave 2 characters, because right now I am out. Jazzy, what's up? Super badass artist, Jazzy LH draws. Go check him out. He does awesome Motu drawings, beautiful stuff. You'd love to see more mature animated shorts, like intense action based. Yeah, me too. You're talking to the guy that wants to do it. I definitely want to do it. I would love someone to give me the opportunity, like on Kubo, for instance. They already kind of had a lot of the action designed when I got there. And me as an animator, I was like, man, if they would have just let me discover and play. Like, I just went on set and played, right? Like, if you look at some of my animation tests when I first was working with Monkey, I could have come up with some cool, amazing stuff that we could have incorporated into the fight scene that could have been discovered. So I would have loved to have done that. But it doesn't always work like that in feature or in film. But for my own filmmaking, I would love to do that too. Thanks, man, about Tila. It was really challenging. I struggled. I definitely, more than once while I was animating Tila, I was like, I failed. This is going to be hard. I can't post this. And I was, I was really concerned that it was I really wanted to deliver to the fans about, a cool ass Tila animation. So I felt really bad, like I was failing. But in the end, I liked it. It came out all right. What's up from Mexico? Hola. Epic video reference of Justin with the bow. Yeah, I do a lot of reference at Blizzard. We do video reference all the time because the supervisors want all of the animators to be really informed, especially since we do so much action. So yeah, Miguel, in that animation or that video that you saw, that's just some of the action. I have so much more that I haven't been able to share. That's way more action stunty, like fighty and stuff like that. So I'm trying to get approvals to share a bunch of that, but that was just some of the stuff. But thank you. What would you do with the He-Man set? We're gonna break it down, and somebody actually offered to buy it. It's funny, but we'll probably store it somewhere in our sheds until just in case they want to, someday say, "Hey, Justin, make us a cartoon." We'll be able to go back and recreate some of the rock formations or something from that kind of Snake Mountain-y looking set. But yeah, we'll store it for now. When the tied up man at arms started talking, it made me smile because it reminded me of Robot Chicken. That's cool. Yeah, a lot of people were surprised. There's dialogue in this short that people might not have thought was there, but the characters definitely talk. So you'll see some facial animation and a little miniature story. Even though it's 2 minutes, it's really short. How long does it usually take you to put a good idea concept into fruition? Well, I mean, as soon as I get an idea, I can make it. So like I have an idea for when I passed 1 million followers, right, on TikTok. I have the idea, so I have to shoot the video that I want to shoot. I have to build a puppet, which might take me a couple, 3 days. It's not going to be a complicated puppet like my normal one. It's kind of like more like a clay situation. So maybe a couple days. And then going into the garage, maybe I don't know, 3, 4 hours to set it up and then shoot. And the shoot might take 2 weeks. And then there's post for a couple days. So I don't know, maybe anywhere between 2, 3 weeks to get like a really nice big piece of something, an idea illustrated. Thanks for the lighting love there. Yeah, I love how the set came out too. I was really, really happy. Oh, no way, you got the Tauntaun. Awesome. That's so cool. You're going to be really excited because I have more coming from the Star Wars universe for the Star Wars fans out there. I'm going to touch it as well. So there you'll see some stuff. I use a lot of materials. I use Van Aken clay to sculpt. I use Super Sculpey to sculpt. I use Monster Maker's clay to sculpt. I use silicone for puppets. I use foam latex for puppets. I use resin for molds. I use ultracal for molds. Aluminum wire for armatures. Acrylic paint mixed with balloon rubber and all kinds of other materials. Yeah, I still rock climb. I do. Not seriously anymore because it's too hard on my joints. You have to climb all the time to be a high level climber. So I just climb for fun now. Those days are kind of done with my tendons of being able to train regular, like every day and not destroy my forearms and my my hand tendons. All right, itty bitty, good to see you. Thank you. Have you cosplay? I no, I haven't, but I've done Halloween, which is pretty much a little bit of cosplay. I dressed up as a D&D character, the Dungeon Master, a couple Halloweens ago because I love that 80s series so much. Have you been passionate by animation the day you started, or was it more crescendo with? I've been very passionate about film and special effects and art very much my whole life. But animation, when I discovered animation, that came later. I didn't expect to fall into it quite the way I did. But once I found it, head over heels in love. I love the magic of bringing things to life with lines, with a computer, or with a puppet. It's magic. Questions I got. As you accrue a large body of work, do you find yourself getting rid of a lot of sets and puppets, or do you store them all? We get rid of them often. Like there's certain stuff like, like a giant alien planet was easy. It's basically wood with clay all over it. That was our Dogonaut set. We kept our spaceships, of course, and like really cool things we made. Like the set we made for Gerald's Last Day it was cinder blocks. It was very simple, easy to get rid of. Puppets I keep, but sets not so much. But if there's a cool prop or something, sometimes we'll keep it and store it for possible future film use. But cosplay is also awesome. Yeah, it is. Cosplay is awesome. There's so many amazing cosplay people out there that are always creating incredible, incredible suits. Do you ever use special deformed body parts for blurs? Yeah. Or I'll use extra body parts like arms or legs or heads. I'll bring it in and just, rig it up for a few frames and then pull it out just to get a little extra juice. I love the magic. Yeah, I love that magic. Yeah, and in the Overwatch shorts, I love the puzzles of figuring out, like every time I work with a new Overwatch character, I'm like, how am I going to do their special abilities, right? So doing Tracer's Blink was just so fun to figure that out, right? And it was, when it works, it's like, yeah, it's like you made a magic trick, right? Or with Reaper's Wraith, it's like, how are we going to do this? I don't know. Witch's Cotton. Okay. Yeah, it worked. Oh my God, that's amazing. It's so fun. That's part of the fun of stop motion. Do you have any Motu classics? Oh yeah, I do. I have He-Man, I have Skeletor, I have Triclops, I have Stratos, I have Man at Arms with the mustache that I put on him because I loved his mustache version. Yeah, they go on my Christmas tree every single year. They're ornaments on my Christmas tree every single year. I love Motu. Would you choose art or love? Both. I'm not limiting myself. Both. I love my art and I love my wife and I love doing art with my wife. So I'm not shortchanging. I'm doing both. Both. I want them both. Question. Let's see here. How can you make wire that can squash and stretch? Lots of different ways. If you think about my werewolf, if you saw my werewolf animation, what I did is I coiled the wire like this, right? So that when I pulled the skull, the neck would stretch, right? So I just kind of coiled it, right? So if you do that with a spine, for instance, while you're animating on a character, if you coil it up there, you're going to be able to pull it apart and push it back together. There's a lot of little cool little tricks you can try for that. Yeah, give it a shot. That's how I would do it. Let's see here. And then a question. Have you met Kevin Perry in person? Yeah, I've worked with him. We worked on Kubo together. Yeah, he's a super cool guy, really nice guy, and I'm really happy about the success he's having on social media. It's really, really awesome. I'm happy for him. And then, hello from, hey, thank you from Paraguay. Appreciate it. Super like your animation. How did you start to make your own puppet, and how did you make sure that they are flexible enough for animation? The first puppet I ever made was just a wire with fur on it and a sculpted head. I made a sculpted head, super simple. And from there, I started clay, and I didn't like clay because I couldn't use it, so it wouldn't maintain the character design that I made. So then I tried sculpting and molding, and then I learned that through Kathy Zung's DVD on foam latex puppet making. And then after I started casting my puppets, then I didn't have to worry about it because they were made of foam latex, so they were very flexible and looked exactly like my design. So that's how I did it. Hey from Chile, what's up? Moju Xmas. I'll do a Christmas special with Xmas for sure. Okay, and then thank you. Other question, what is your favorite animation that you have made so far? Again, so hard to answer that question. I I loved making Paranorman and I loved making Kubo, uh, but neither of them were my favorite animations that I've ever done. I loved working on SpongeBob and I loved working on Alien Xmas and uh, I think maybe some of my favorite animation I've ever done has been Overwatch animation on the shorts. I really love animating our storytelling shorts, our cinematics. And I think there's been a lot of, I've had some really beautiful shots. I loved working on the Reinhardt short. I loved working on the May short. I loved working on the uh, 76 short, the Tracer short. Uh, uh, yeah, I've all of them. I've loved so many of them. Um, gosh, yeah, it's too hard to break down into one, but those have been some of my most rewarding. I've really enjoyed working on the WoW stuff too, like the pre-rendered like World of Warcraft stuff, and the Diablo one we just finished was incredibly rewarding to work on. Really special, and the quality was so good. It was so good. Okay, let's see here. Questions. Whoa, guys, I'm running out of Energon cubes here. I have 5%. Let me see if I can plug in. Help the situation. Watch Paranorman again after your last live. Oh, man, I'm so glad you watched it. Yeah, some magic stuff going on there. Ooh, I just realized it's 7:30. That's an hour and a half again. I cannot believe I did this. I'm going to go downstairs and hang out with my family and have some dinner. So I will see you guys. Have I seen The Miracle Maker? Yes. Very cool. For what you bring to stop motion films, why stop motion over CG or 2D? What is the main artistic path that comes? The reason I love for what brings stop motion to films, why I prefer stop motion because it tastes different. And I talked about this last time. CG is sugar. It's perfection. It's bright and colorful and perfect, 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 perfect. And it's cold and sweet. And I prefer stop motion because it's real artists touching the work. With every frame, they're bleeding and they're creating life, illusions, real illusions of inanimate objects moving, and it feels so gosh darn magical to me, and it tastes so refreshing because so much of CG tastes exactly the same. So that's why I prefer it for sure. What's for dinner? Pho. Shelly went out and got some pho, so I got me some pork vermicelli, and I got some spring rolls downstairs. So it's time to go eat. But I'm so glad you guys came again. I really appreciate everybody showing up. Keep an eye out for Evelyn. Tomorrow she'll go out, and hope you like her. And I really look forward to hanging out with you guys again. And if you guys want some cool He-Man stuff, tell Mattel. That's what I tell everyone. Tell Mattel to call me. We'll work something out. All right, guys. Thank you. And we'll see you again, hopefully next Friday. Bye. Okay, how do I get out of here? And